Does your business need a boost, or are you looking to boost a local company? Check out Booster from ATB, a unique way to crowdfund and support local businesses and get special offers from the companies. Designed by Albertans for Albertans, businesses get support from advisors and the community. Visit atbbooster.ca to check out who you can boost today.
ATB understands that sometimes we all need a boost. That's why they invented Booster, a crowdfunding platform for small businesses. If you have an idea and want to test it with a crowd, you can raise funds to grow and expand into the community. So whether you're a cafe in need of a new espresso machine or a boutique wanting to open a new location, check out atbbooster.ca to find out more. It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. If you like us, check out some of our friends, the Eskimo Empire Podcast. They're rad dudes, and check them out.
Touchdown!
Okay.
What ads?
Episode 3, The Search for Spock. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I don't claim to be an expert in anything we're going to discuss today, and we'll probably be wrong about everything as usual because reasons. If you'd like to see where we dug up whatever bullpucky we're going to discuss today, then please check out the resources in the episode description. Charlie grinds away on that, etching those URLs into a stone tablet by hand. Yes. Which is then sent via carrier pigeon to our mail base in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Thunder Bay.
It's an ordeal, a bloody fucking mess of an ordeal.
Whoopah!
And frankly, I wish there was an easier way to upload things to the internet.
That's that way I crank it out.
Also, we gotta feed those giant birds, man.
Totally. Yeah, those carrier pigeons. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB, and we're friends. Joining me, as always, are my old pals Gregory and Charles. These juicy fruits will be presented with a few selected theories, and we'll interject as they see fit. I'm glad we're all together, and I love you both very much. Aww.
If you had to describe me as a fruit, what fruit would I be?
This is like a weird reverse job interview.
Yeah.
I give you a mango, like mysterious.
I knew you were gonna say mango.
Did you know I was going to say mango?
In my mind, I'm like, man, I bet you he says mango. I'm feeling it.
What do you think he is?
Yeah.
He's a kiwi.
A kiwi?
Kiwi.
Yeah.
A bloody kiwi,
He's-
like
he's-
Russell Crowe.
He's rough on the outside, but inside.
Green and seedy.
Yeah.
Now do me.
Ooh. Talk about a mystery. You're like a lychee nut. A
Yeah.
lychee nut. I don't know how you pronounce it. Lychee.
Is that the one with the white blob on the inside of the shell?
That's the lychee.
And then you get 2 lychees and you just do this. And
Those are actually giant insects, aren't they? Like it's like a.
They're fruit.
I think you're a watermelon, Charlie.
oh, thank you.
Just-
I believe it's pronounced watermelon.
Oh, Malone. Sorry,
Malone?
you're a watermelon.
Watermelon?
An Malone. Or a melon d'eau.
Sorry to take us off.
That's all right. Where were we here? Recording with you two is a ray of sunshine on an otherwise cloudy day. If you would like to keep up to date with what we're up to here at It's a Conspiracy, then please check out our website. It's a Conspiracy Podcast, where you can find the links to our Twitter, run by the Irish Madman, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, those run by Greg's, the emails, and our Patreon page, patreon.com/It's a Conspiracy. Okay, now really quick before we get started, let's check in with our new segment. What are we testing?
What are we
Charlie,
testing?
I've heard we have an update.
I've got some foods here.
Okay, so let's just do a quick recap. So we had a Charlie. What did you pick for that?
I picked a Swiss roll.
Swiss roll, a little
Yes.
Debbie Swiss roll,
Little Debbie
Debbie's.
Swiss
Okay.
roll.
I
Little
picked
Debbie,
a
Little Debbie.
cheeseburger with fries from McDonald's.
Yep.
And I took the radiated apples from 7-Eleven.
Okay. Yes. Now, am I opening these up to present them to you?
Wait a minute. If you open that thing, is it going to smell? Oh wow,
Here's the Swiss roll.
Swiss roll's fine.
looking good. Swiss rolls
fine.
looking
all right.
real good.
There might be a little some. No, that's just
Nope,
part of the
that's
Swiss
just
roll.
is part of the.
That's the Swiss part.
That's the Swiss of the Swiss roll.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Swiss filling made by real Swiss.
Swiss men.
Little Swiss.
A Swiss miss filled the roll with a
Ooh,
kiss.
Next up,
We got the radiated
Oh.
apples. Yeah, we're doing so far so good.
Wow, those look like even fresher somehow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the
so that's tasty.
so apples and this mini rolls.
good
What are they
enough to eat.
called? Yeah, that does look good enough to eat. I would buy that and be like, that sounds like a. Oh.
And for your viewing pleasure.
Oh, what? Okay. No need. You can put that lid right back on. Oh.
We need a photo.
It's alive! Oh.
Does it smell, boys?
I'm not gonna smell.
Dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nasty. I'm pretty sure this is how they cured like polio and stuff.
Yeah. Let's put the lid back on that. Okay, so
If you're gonna toss out that whole Tupperware container,
yeah, it's
recycle it.
It's so the I'm shocked at this. The cheeseburger and fries from
cheeseburgers
McDonald's
and fries are out.
saying that was moldy is a bit of an understatement. Like that was
Your horse like ran out of the gate and just tripped on
Yeah.
itself.
We made your horse glue now.
that looked like a scrubby pad that you'd use like to get
Yeah.
real tough stains off
That's
of
how they
something.
make those.
Yeah, that was we probably got some kind of bubonic plague now.
So
Or we got healthier.
Or we might be healthier. Yeah.
Be $5 if you eat one.
No, thank you.
A single fry.
Just fine.
No, absolutely not.
$7.50.
Shit, I'll give you 10.
I will have nightmares for the rest of my life after seeing that. We got a
so
picture, though.
but you know what that means.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what that means. I'm one step closer to being a 2-time world champion here, baby.
Okay, so I'm out. I don't know. I'm shocked at that. Are you guys surprised?
You know what?
little
I
bit.
think the problem was adding the fries. I think if it would have been the burger on its own,
I think there was just too much moisture.
but
that burger was really moldy too. Like,
yeah, but that's
wow.
because
The fries.
it carried over from the fries.
Oh, did it go in hot?
Well, I
wouldn't call.
got a photo where there's like the beginning.
Yeah,
we have a
it's-
middle photo, and now we have this one.
It's growing.
So now we know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Instead of
We don't
finding-
get sued by McDonald's. if we
Instead
put
of
that up on
finding a
Instagram.
horse head in your bed, you're gonna go home, throw back the coverage. It's gonna be a moldy cheeseburger.
We're not talking a little bit of mold on there. There was a lot. Like,
It's a lot of mold.
That was a good one.
oh, let's throw that out afterwards. So
Moving along.
we got apples and Swiss rolls are still good. Okay. I am straight up traumatized now. Enough of that slobbery nonsense. We've sniffed each other's crotches for too long, and it's time to get down to brass tacks. Yeah. Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you've heard of either of these theories?
You betcha.
The Nephilim Sumo.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I have an idea, but probably not.
Okay.
No.
And number 2, a brief overview of MK-Ultra.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you have heard of MK-Ultra.
Yes.
Okay. Probably the best name for any conspiracy theory.
Oh, and weed.
Is it a type of weed?
The Master Kush.
That's not what I've heard. Of it.
weed.
the
MK.
Master Kush.
That's not what I heard. That's not like I know of the actual thing, but also I know of it as weed.
Oh, okay.
Twofer.
You like to indulge in the jazz cabbage, do you?
The devil's lettuce.
If we're gonna play some jazz, I like to have some
Wait,
cabbage.
The reefer.
Do you have any reefer?
I don't know. No, I'm sorry.
Be a lot cooler if you
I
did.
know. Oh. All right, then. Subject number 1. The Nephilim Sumo. Nephilim is spelt Nephelim.
Gazoon Titan. Nephilim.
Charlie and Greg, do you two macho studs like wrestling?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
bet.
Do you both like sumo wrestling?
I can't say that I'm as familiar with sumo. I've read an essay or two on it, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
know who. What's his name?
Yokozuna?
Something Bono or Ono.
Sonny Bono?
The
Bono?
U2 guy.
No. He
Every breath
Yokozuna was a
you
guy, but
take.
then there was another
No,
guy as
Yokozuna
well.
he was a wrestler
He was a
in
wrestler.
the WWE,
Yeah,
whatever.
but he used to be sumo.
That's the title of he might have been a sumo at one time. I'm not sure.
Trained in
But you guys,
Akibono.
you guys should watch
I'm gonna look that shit up.
Some
Some
mo.
mo.
You should watch some mo.
We should watch Sumo. Sumo.
Yeah. Now, what if I told you too that there is a belief that the Japanese used to have Nephilim giants right from the Old Testament, living in a small village called Cha-Cha on an island called Hahajima.
Okay, well, see, first of all, the least believable part of that story is that the island is called Cha-Cha.
No, the village is called
The village
Cha-Cha,
is called Cha-Cha.
Cha-cha-cha.
and the island is called Hahajima. Yep.
And there's Nephilim giants.
Nephilims are. I'll explain this here. Okay,
I don't understand that part.
There's a lot in this name. Let's break it down a little bit. Okay.
Break it down.
Sumo, Japan's national sport.
Sumo colon. That's something I don't want to be by.
Yeah. Well, sumo, Japan's national sport, beloved pastime, head-scratchingly corrupt,
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
about
no
before.
stranger to
Yeah.
conspiracy theories stretching back for centuries. Fun fact for you guys, very, very, very few sumo wrestlers are actually Japanese. It's one of the few national sports in the world that is made up almost entirely of people brought in from other countries.
Really?
So, for example, of the last 9 yokozunas, which is like the highest rank you can get, only 3 have been from Japan.
Oh.
The others have been from Hawaii, which has a long and very troubling past with sumo wrestling, and Mongolia. I actually saw a yokozuna one time at a subway station in Nagoya. And the guy, it was Asa Shoryu, and he was gigantic.
What kind of sandwich was he getting?
He was at the actual train station.
Oh.
The funny thing was he's massive, and he clearly was like, someone might recognize me. I'm gonna get some sunglasses so no one will recognize me. But he bought like normal people size sunglasses. But it would be like if you took a baby sunglasses and put them on your normal sized face. So it
Was
only
he
made him
wearing a
stick out
trench
even
coat
more.
also?
He was wearing like a big gray he looked like a Dr. Seuss drawing.
Awesome.
Like straight up just like.
No
Yeah.
one knows who I am.
Nobody knows. And he had like a string of bodyguards around him, and everyone was like, oh, "It's Asa Shoryu." He's from Mongolia. He was one big dude. Now, okay, so that's sumo. The second and perhaps more obscure word here is Nephilim.
Yeah.
Now, the Nephilim are what the Old Testament refers to as the sons of God and are alleged to be the literal offspring of angels and human beings. These, quote, people, quote, were reportedly gigantic beings who, up until the Great Flood, coexisted with humans. Some reports have these beings described as the ones who lived for hundreds and thousands of years in the Old Testament, and some describe them as fallen angels, and some, like the movie Noah, depict them as fallen angels that are more like scary piles of rocks. Did you guys see Noah?
No.
Yeah, I
With-
did,
with
yes.
Russell Crowe? Yeah.
Yes.
It's an interesting movie, but those like rock monsters.
There's
Well,
rock
it's
monsters?
actually part
There's
of the
rock
Bible.
monsters. Yeah.
They talk about it.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Nephilim, not Nephilim.
Nephilim?
It's like Nefi or
Yeah.
Philim.
Well, if we're known for anything, it's accurate pronunciation.
Anyway, yeah, no, this is actually the cool
Nephilim?
part of the Bible.
Nephilim.
The cool part of the Bible.
People dying. There's an action story.
You said Noah.
Yeah, did you know Noah was the first alcoholic known?
First guy to get drunk.
Yeah,
I'll bet, given
Yeah.
what he had to go through.
and first vintner as well. Yeah. Like I said, some cool parts of the Bible.
Hot knowledge.
The theory about the Nephilim, I'm going to have a hard time saying it.
I'll just go with Nephilim.
I'll just stick with Nephilim. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're
And it
right.
sounds like a fun cousin of the Smurfs.
Here's the
Nephilims.
Nephilims.
Yeah, the Nephilims. Sounds like the Ukrainian, like off-market, like.
No, but you said they're giants,
Yeah,
right?
but they are giants.
So
Yeah,
they're like that guy from Teddy Ruxpin.
it's too bad that you. I know you heard that sound, but if you needed to see Charlie's jowls just.
I can unhinge them.
So
the jowls.
Yeah.
The theory about the Nephilim Sumo, this is a great word, harkens back, and that's a great term, to our Easter special, where we learned about Jesus and his family skipping the whole crucifixion thing by escaping to Japan with his brother and wife and or mother. Essentially, one of the Nephilim, who was a staggering 20 feet tall, survived the Great Flood.
Yeah, because he's 20 feet tall.
He was 20 feet tall.
It's just up to his neck.
Went to Japan, lived peacefully for hundreds of years, and then in the late 19th century or early 20th century was captured by the sumo guys and forced into a life of sumo slavery.
What?
Yeah, but he rose through the ranks. He became like a folk hero and smited the enemies, I guess you would say.
Smite them so good.
To the Russell Crowe hit Gladiator, in that he goes to the top of the sumo circuit and ends up being a national celebrity. In fact, there is very early footage from the late days of Imperial Japan, sometime in the 1930s, that show the Nephilim Sumo on his way to one of the very traditional matches. Probably in Tokyo, it's hard to say. This wrestler, known popularly as Big Man, became a nationwide phenomenon, and his career was tragically cut short by the descent into war. So World War II kind of cut the whole thing. And then the story came out later on. So the story of this wrestler was kept a relatively open secret. Like, people in Japan knew about it, but the rest of the world was like, I never heard of the giant sumo guy. So the legend has it that the story did not escape Japan due to the negative connotations with the Second World War. It was only really in the late 1990s, with the advent of the internet, that this legend became a hushed part of alternative history culture. And then finally, in the early 2000s, evidence came to light. Someone found the actual 1930s footage of the Big Man.
What?
who was, again, 20 feet tall and apparently hundreds of years old, strutting around the streets of what is presumed to be 1930s Tokyo. So I'm going to include this clip on our Facebook page and a link in the episode description. Yeah. Let's take a look at it now. So what I would like you to look up, Charlie, here is, so I'll spell it out for you. Nephelim and then sumo.
Space sumo.
Yeah, right there. So this one
first
here.
one?
Yeah, there we go.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, and bring it up so we can see. This is... Look at that.
Hell yeah. And this is for real? Well, I guess. We'll see.
We'll explain it in a second here.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
I'm sorry. That doesn't look real.
Yeah, stop that there. Cool. Okay. Now, this footage has resurfaced multiple times since its release, and coincidentally, so everyone was going crazy about this.
Real coinkydink.
Yeah, and then in a real coinkydink, it was included in a movie called Big Man Japan from 2007. So all of a sudden, people are like, no. This isn't old footage. This is brand new footage in 2007, and they're like,
this is special effects.
We made this for a movie, and it was released, and people were like, it's really old, but it was actually like brand new. But the problem is, so we're gonna look. The only evidence supporters of this theory have is the video footage, according to them, was later retconned into part of a 2007 movie. Supporters are very quick to point out the stunning contrast between the 1930s, maybe as early as 1890, which somehow predates motion photography, and the rest of the film. So the argument is basically, if this footage was made for the movie, then why does the rest of the Big Man Japan movie look like total shit? And how easy would it be to shoehorn this footage that, if it was really old and existed, into this movie? So Charlie, can you look up the Big Man Japan trailer and get ready for some early 2000s CG? This will be in the episode description as well and up on the Facebook page.
It's rated R.
Since the bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
Well, it looks a lot
Japan
cleaner
has
there.
been protected against invading monsters by a legacy of giant warriors.
Big. Is. Beautiful.
This is ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Come on.
What?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yes. Yes. This movie rocks.
Oh, dude, you gotta
Yes.
see this so bad.
Yes. Yeah. This is awesome. Yeah. He just suplexed the building. That monster's got a comb over.
2006 was great.
That's pretty cool. Yes. Yes.
I want to watch this so bad.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's amazing.
yeah. Now the original footage, even though there's some suspicious stuff,
Now-
the old stuff being is like it looks.
See, the difference between
Yeah.
the old stuff we saw, well, I'll save it for later.
Yeah. So but that's the theory. They're like, look, they took the footage, they got someone's like alcoholic uncle like with to do that CG.
Uncle
which is
Tony.
yeah, Uncle Tony did it.
Come take a
'Cause
movie.
it is.
We're making a movie. We'll buy you a 6-pack.
Yeah. Anyway, so no opinions, but that's yeah.
On the bottle.
So that's the Nephilim,
squishy.
the Nephilim Sumo.
Squishy. That movie looks like it rocks.
Yeah, it looks
looks- it
really
looks
good.
incredible.
Sorry, I should be saving it for.
No, I want to see the whole thing. Yeah, and we can.
This seems like we could be another episode.
That's a movie night.
Yeah.
All right. After these messages,
We'll be right back.
We ask these children if they know when to go to emergency and when there are other options.
If you got in a car accident
Or like having trouble breathing.
I would go to emergency if I had a really bad hockey skate cut on the neck.
They're there to treat people that are really sick or really hurt.
If you have an emergency or if you're not sure, we're here to help. Know your options. Call HealthLink at 811 or visit ahs.ca/options.
Okay. Good stuff. Or sorry, Charlie. What are we drinking here?
What are we drinking? Yellowhead Brewery presents Blue Review X Forbidden Fruit Grapefruit Brute IPA. This is the very special brew that was brewed for my porno movie festival this year.
The Blue Review
Blue Review Brew.
The Forbidden Fruit is a refreshing and dry grapefruit brute IPA, reminiscent of a grapefruit mimosa. This beer pairs well with brunch, amateur porn festivals, and the grapefruit technique. I remember watching that video.
You
scares
see,
me.
yeah. You've
The
seen
noises that woman makes. Whoa.
So it actually does it. We need to get a picture of this, but it actually does say that this beer pairs well with amateur porn festivals.
But you thought I was making that up?
No, it actually says that on the can. Like I'm like that's
This was legitimately.
Yeah.
I wish I was cool enough to like improvise that.
Well, some of these cans are like this goes perfect with a game of softball on a country road in the summer heat.
That's straight up amateur porn.
They made this for our porn fest. This is a special edition beer.
It's a can you can hold with your left hand.
Yeah.
While you're
I like to do it the other way around.
yeah. Ugh.
You shake hands with the right hand.
Cranking one
You
out
guys are
over
getting to
here.
know each other way better than you actually know.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm almost finished.
So the grapefruit beer.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm not generally a heavy beer guy or an IPA guy or a super hoppy guy, but this one, it's very grapefruity.
Yeah.
It is.
I like that
it's,
about
it's
it.
fruity enough that it takes away from the IPA.
Oh yeah.
Get it?
You
We were
guys can
very
share.
very honored that Yellowhead whipped this up for us for the show, and then put a small run of it out to the public that can be purchased.
Nice.
Yeah. Get it. It's out now.
Get it in you.
That is
Super limited.
that is a banging can.
Thank you.
Did you design this
I
can?
did that can.
It is fantastic.
That's my can.
It
Look at
kind of
this.
reminds me of Cocktail.
This film strip.
It does look like Cocktail.
Cocktails and Dreams.
No, it looks
And
like the
Pink
movie
Neon.
Cocktail.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Cocktails and
Pretty good.
Dreams.
I didn't.
Wow.
I never put that together.
Blinkety blink. Blink
Yeah.
blink.
I have a friend who confused the movie FX with the movie Cocktail. And she's like, the guy's a bartender and he's like a special effects guy who fights crime. And then in the end, he kills himself. I'm like, you're confusing these movies together. Like it is that
All to
Australian
the
guy who,
soundtrack of Kokomo.
Yeah, and the Beach Boys sang the soundtrack. And in the end, there's a clown flying a helicopter. I'm like, you've got this
I
all
forget that
mixed up.
actor's name, but I know you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking
The guy
about?
that plays like Coughlin.
Yeah.
Now, I would be remiss if I did not point out that this beer is brewed to a percentage of 6.9%.
69.
That's on purpose.
It just keeps getting funnier.
Delightful.
Not gonna lie, the second beer is better than the first.
Ooh.
It just keeps getting better.
Every time I see it.
All right, then. Well, speaking of the grapefruit technique, Greg, we have a Mandela Minute. Mandela Minute.
Okay, I'm not gonna describe what the Mandela effect is anymore. If you don't know what it is, Google it.
Go to last
Yeah,
season.
I-
Check it out
totally,
last
yeah.
season.
I don't mean to be rude about that, but like we're in a world.
Come on,
where
time is money.
all the information is at our fingertips. So go to town. Do you guys like bologna? Or
Do I?
Yeah.
Or bologna? Or however you
Bologna.
pronounce-
Absolutely.
Do you guys,
Slow fry in a pan.
Oh man.
do you guys remember that commercial from Oscar Mayer? Like, my bologna has a first name. It's
Yeah.
OSCAR.
Yeah.
Something. Okay. So
yeah.
Oscar Mayer. How is Mayer spelled?
Oscar Mayer is spelled like Oscar. It's in the label MEYER.
Is it?
I would have said MAYER.
Oh, of course you would. Just because
I just
That's a theory?
I just ran through the song in my head though.
It's MAYER.
My first
Yeah.
name.
You were in the
it's
shit universe last time. Again, we
OSCAR.
got to start keeping a tab of this because you last time you're like, I don't remember if she had braces.
I'm pretty
No,
sure.
I just don't remember
You
that
just don't
movie very
remember
well at
that
all.
very well.
That's because you're in the
Do you
shit
guys-
universe, so she didn't have
Do you
braces.
guys want to watch the video of the kids
Yeah.
singing that song?
Of course.
We're having a new segment on cute kids
Cute kids.
I don't have them, so.
that you know about.
Yep.
My baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MAYER.
Yeah, no, that's not
Oh,
right.
I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with BLOGNA.
Oscar Mayer, the first name in Bologna.
Right there.
How's that?
Oscar Mayer.
So, yeah, a vast majority of the people believe that it is spelled MEYER.
I can see why they'd think that.
It's just the way it's pronounced.
Yeah, Oscar
Mayer.
It's not Mayer. It's Oscar Mayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is odd though, because I even remember the song being Meyer. Yeah,
See? And this, definitely not from my time.
no.
I just remember I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone would be in love with me.
Do you remember the song? Can you sing the song and do the little
No,
dance?
How does it go?
I don't exactly remember the whole thing, but I do remember I had the chance to do it once and didn't do it.
Like on TV?
Yeah,
Like
like,
for the
they, like
commercial?
the actual like Oscar Mayer wiener truck showed up, and my parents were like, "This is your chance. Like you could do this. Could be your big break. We all want to go to Hawaii." No, I didn't do it.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm gonna keep these talents hidden. No one's gonna know.
Oh,
Those are you talents. They're just secrets for you.
Yeah, in the shower,
Oh,
drink out of the
that
toilet.
is an odd one.
Oscar Mayer.
That isn't how it was simple enough, but for me, I just wanted to watch that video. So.
M-A-Y-E-R. Yeah.
My baloney has a second name. It's
Homer.
Anyway, that's the Mandela Minute.
So subject number 2
Deuce.
is a brief overview of MK Ultra. This is one of those ones that it's like the flat Earth thing.
Hold on. When we do this segment, can you add a lot of the theme, that movie sound? Because that sounds...
like right when The Dark Knight came out, and that was in like every movie for a little while. Yeah. Oh, it's Batman's new theme. Exciting. It sounds like that.
After every time you say MK-Ultra.
MK Ultra. So, Project MK Ultra, best name ever, was a basically a bunch of human experiments conducted by the CIA from the early 50s to the 1970s to research mind control. And some real scary stuff happened. This is one of the few conspiracy theories that was like for years, for decades, the government was like, okay, no, we didn't do this. I don't know what anybody's talking about. And it's a complete lie. And then later on, they were like, all right, yes, it's true. We work in, like experimenting on people and, seeing what did sexual abuse due to the shape of someone's brain, for example, and all kinds of crazy stuff. There are a lot of things in this, so we'll do a quick overview, and then in part 2 of this one, we're going to talk about the Canadian connection with
I was just gonna mention that.
Do you know what I'm going to talk about?
Yeah.
It was
out east.
It was
Yeah.
in Montreal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I won't say anything.
That's all it'll be. That's
Is it
all
a
it'll
real
be.
screw
Thanks,
job?
thanks for stopping.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Thanks for mentioning it instead of letting me just be like, "Hey guys, remember when that happened in Canada?"
Yeah.
Be like, "Shut up!
Shut up, Greg.
You ruined everything."
So there's an interesting Canadian connection. That'll be in part 2. Okay, so first off, this program did exist and was actually partially involved in the Watergate scandal that brought down Richard Nixon. Secondly, lots of information has been released, but there are gigantic gaps that are just magnet candy for anyone looking to spark up some conspiracy joints.
Magnet candy?
Yeah, magnet candy, because everybody goes crazy for it.
Conspiracy joints. Huh?
Yeah. If you're gonna, so
Part jazz.
some jazz cabbage. Yeah. So alcohol was regularly used in MK Ultra programming. So a lot of people associate LSD and powerful hallucinogens with MK Ultra, but the truth is that a lot of these guys, they weren't like, here's some pieces of paper, stick them under your tongue,
this
and
under your
we'll
tongue.
put some Led Zeppelin on. Like, here's a glass of water. Here's
like a
some
good party.
wine. Yeah. Interestingly, this was through MK Ultra. They discovered that alcohol can be used as a low-grade truth serum. This is very, very, very debated. So.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so we have in our brain, we have glutamate.
We have it in our skin too.
Yeah, but there's a neurotransmitter in the brain, and alcohol slows down the signals, and you don't have time to come up with the regular lies or whatever. So this is why, and that's why people get really touchy. Like, I was drunk, I didn't mean that. But sometimes you're like, I did mean that, I just wouldn't normally say that. Yeah.
I gave less of a fuck. I give a shit.
Yeah.
Your hat looks stupid.
Your mustache.
Yeah.
That was my mustache.
And a lot of people say that, so this is number 9. MK-Ultra is, the research behind it is compared to the research of the Holocaust. Isn't it interesting how like drugs like Prozac, Ritalin, Zoloft came out really quickly, because usually those things have like 25, 30 years of like longitudinal studies to see the effects. And they're like, yeah, we started working on this and 5 years later we had it and
Nailed it.
Nailed
Perfect.
Yeah. So MK-Ultra might not have been extremely like heavy hallucinogenic mind control, but could have also been like, take these pills and it'll help you focus. Like who knows what happened to
I'll
the
take
people
some of
with
those.
the,
You got some
the
of
stuff.
those?
Yeah.
I'll take those pills.
Number 8, alien abduction may be a smokescreen for MK-Ultra programming. So people who report alien beings abducting them, sticking things, might actually be they like were given drugs or hypnotized or whatever. And
Pubes were dyed red.
yeah, they have red pubic hair, of course, and then they're given these false memories via like drugs in their water supply or whatever. They're like, no, it was aliens the whole time, and everyone's like, oh, who's this crazy guy talking about aliens sticking things in his bum? And that's basically, they're like, we're gonna do things to his bum, and then we'll make him think it was aliens, and then nobody will believe him.
Butt stuff.
So yeah, so implanting false memories is basically one of the aspects of it. Speaking of false memories, this is a weird one. So number 7, there's a connection between ear candling and MK-Ultra.
That's where they like suck the wax out of your ear.
They do suck the wax out of your
and then
ear.
they turn it into a candle.
Okay, I don't know if they always turn into a candle.
Necessarily turn it into a
Well,
candle.
what a waste of wax.
Not that kind of wax, but so ear candling is an alternative medicine practice used to remove excess wax from the ear canal. Yeah, and some people are like, actually, that's how they get the implants in and out of your ear. So they
just lube it up with wax.
Well, no, they're like, we're taking the wax out, shush, and they're actually like putting the little robot in your brain. Yeah, because people are like, I had my ears waxed, and then for days I heard a weird buzzing sound in my head. It must be the robot that the MK-Ultra guys put in there. And it's like, maybe it's all the wax that was taken out. Sorry, that's an opinion. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, Andrew.
Yeah, my bad. I'm hearing it right now. MK-Ultra may be an Illuminati test for creating mind control slaves, where they're like, hey, you can make killer slaves. And these people are basically, it's like the Winter Soldier, where you just read a list of words and the person
Manchurian candidate.
Yeah.
The
and that
diamonds.
Yeah. So apparently there is an actual Illuminati PDF online called the Illuminati Formula, and it explains how MK-Ultra developed something like a step-by-step process for creating a murder slave. This seems like a bad idea, but let's look it up and see what it has to say. We might as well. Like,
No,
right here.
what do we got going on right
The Illuminati Formula to create undetectable total mind control PDF. Wow, it's right
That's
there.
easy to find.
Is this something we should read? Is someone going to come in later on and be like, there's 3 dead bodies and it looked like they were sitting along fine, and then
Yeah, what are we going to care at that
Fritz. What's that name? Fritz Springmeier and Cisco Wheeler?
Fritz and Cisco. Fritz, the new buddy comedy from Fox.
Fritz
and Cisco.
Fritz Springmeier and Cisco Wheeler, odd branches of the Illuminati connections to the.
This is a this is a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a book, man. Yeah, it's
We
a
just missed
step-by-step
all the
book.
steps.
Yeah.
What we do in the shadows.
Yeah.
Great.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
The origin of MK-Ultra, but a lot of people say that it just continued. So what was happening in the concentration camps during the Second World War, they like rescued all these doctors that were involved in that, and they're like, now you shouldn't have done that, but you were doing some interesting research, so we're going to take you to the States and we'll just grandfather you in. You can keep doing your thing, just keep it on the DL. It wasn't a separate program, but the theory is that it was just one continuous program, including the infamous Dr. Joseph Mengele, I think is his, yeah.
Angel of Death.
Yeah, the Angel of Death, yeah. The old twins guy.
Sure.
Yeah, so people are like, he might have been smuggled wherever he went. He was involved in MK-Ultra. Nazi scientist is what they're saying.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, there is number 4. There's a secret MK-Ultra base underground at Fort Hood, Texas. So there's a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Alex Jones has confirmed that, I believe.
Well,
Well, that's a reputable source.
If Aljo says, then You can take it to the bank.
Good old AJ.
There's a lady on YouTube. Her name is Katie Groves, and she is like, I'm an MK-Ultra. Like, I was a slave, and I woke up, and I'm not a slave anymore. And she can remember everything. And
Free.
yeah. She's like, I woke up and I was in a factory and there was tubes everywhere and I broke them open and then I ran out of the factory and I blew it all up. MK-Ultra has helped spawn the gang stalking phenomenon. Have you guys ever heard of this gang stalking phenomenon before?
No.
Gang stalking.
Gang stalking. So it's a weird thing where people are like, I'm hearing fillings in my teeth. I'm pretty sure there's a radio transmitter in there. There's a camera looking at me from my laptop. My phone is recording everything I'm hearing and everything I'm saying, everything I'm doing.
Well, it's like when I was,
so it's almost like a paranoia, but I'm not saying that's what it is.
it's like when I was sitting on the couch having my coffee this morning and my Xbox turned on for no reason.
You turn a lot of things on, Charlie. Yep. MK-Ultra has been incorporated into future satellite technology. So this is one of those common complaints of guys like Aljo, who are like, oh, they're trying to control the population and they're trying to sway elections. They're trying to, control leaders and put mind control in via satellites and
Sell
stuff like
iPhones
that.
and stuff.
Yeah. So they're like electromagnetic impulses and that heart thing that we talked about that we've never actually done an episode on. We should probably do. And along those lines, and this one, perhaps MK-Ultra has in this day and age. So it used to be like, hey, Charlie, here's some drugs. Let's see what happens. Now these same guys are like, he's got his hand out. Yes, please.
Well, we're waiting.
Where's the drugs? Come on, bro. Don't leave me
That looks
hanging.
like you're ready to catch a few drops of rain.
You can't just say something like that and then not follow through.
me all-
Here's some drugs. No, so what it is that they're saying that Facebook, 4chan, all kinds of social media
TikTok.
are, they're like, MySpace, LiveJournal, Mixi. Come on, what else are we?
The Vin.
Friendster.
Friendster.
Yeah, they're saying that the social media is now this MK-Ultra, and that's why it's this repetitive thing that's boring as hell, and yet people are totally addicted to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so MK-Ultra basically is
No
is
idea you'd fit into those.
any conspiracy that involves government mind control. MK-Ultra is in that conversation quite often, and you'll find it's the Illuminati, man. It's the LSD. It's the satellites. It's the reptile people. It's whatever. It's like they're listening to us. Okay.
The truth is out there.
Yeah. So I guess that takes us to what time is it?
This is opinion time.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
Opinion time, opinion time. Hey everybody, it's opinion time.
Greg, what do you think of it? Was the Nephilim Sumo?
Nephilim Sumo? I don't know, man. I want it to be so real. I really do.
Yeah.
My one thing with this, and this is not a race thing, but if he's supposed to be a Nephilim from like the beginning of time, looks very Japanese to me.
He sure does.
That's my one issue. It just if you were a timeless being, maybe now being a timeless being, you just adapt to look like the people surrounding you. Maybe. So maybe I'm just looking a little bit too into
You just evolve around your in amongst your surrounding.
I don't know, man. It just I'm saying no.
Yeah.
No.
Charles?
So this first video that we saw looks a lot shittier quality than that preview. Okay, like the preview, the version of the old time movie looked a lot more cleaned up. Mm-hmm. Like it looked a lot more CG. But this one, I don't know.
Well, this is supposed to be footage from like the 1930s, so it would be grainy and terrible, and like
this is the way it should work.
Like filmed, like projected on a wall, and somebody like used the phone to get it, kind of thing.
But then this looks so much smoother.
Yeah,
in high def. That's like so.
I don't know. It looks a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, right?
Can you pause it right there? So do you see that kind of sun with all the lines coming out of it?
Yeah.
That's the pre-World War II Japanese flag.
Right.
And you don't see that
Where
very
you gonna
often.
get that?
Yeah.
You being in Japan, do you see that often there now?
Oh, sometimes.
Sometimes.
And it's associated with like the basic the version of like they call themselves the nationalists. And they'll drive around in these vans with these like loudspeakers blaring all this horrible stuff about murdering.
So they're like the Sons of the South?
Yeah, it's the exact same mentality. It's like, we hate you and you should leave unless you were born here. And there's no criteria for it. It was like, if you're not 100% ethnically pure. And this is a fringe group, but this is like, my wife was actually cornered by these guys one time at a convenience store.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's terrible. terrible. Yeah, they're awful. So they drive around in these vans just threatening people, and
Jesus.
yeah, it's terrible, man. It was very awkward. Yeah, so it's horrible, man. But it's the same. It's just hate. It's just ignorance and hate. Like people talk about white supremacy, but like there are supremacists of all colors that are like, anytime anyone's like, we are the best because we have this whatever.
Oh yeah, no, it happens. I would say in every culture for sure.
Totally, yeah.
But what about the Giants?
Yeah, the Giants.
So the Giant is the thing is, man, this footage is great. I think it looks awesome. I don't think it's real, but I have a very hard time believing that the people that made this footage are the same ones behind that Final Fantasy like
Big Man Japan.
Yeah, it looked terrible. Like it looked like that. I think it's the Mummy, the Curse, the second Mummy movie with that Brendan Fraser, and in the end, the Scorpion King comes out. Yeah, and it looks
super
laughably
CGI.
terrible.
Oh, yeah, it's so bad.
That is on par. And I'm like, how could people make old footage look that good and then also make something worse than the end of the Mummy? That's just terrible. Yeah, it's an odd one. Do you guys see what I mean by this footage looks awesome and then the rest of it is like that terrible video game?
I don't know that like these were made by two different companies. Like
that's what I'm saying.
The footage
Look
was
at
made by
how
two
small that
different companies.
bird was compared to like the CGI.
In a sense, that's the theory that people are like, and this monster is so gross.
So awesome. That's so great.
In case you want to know what the footage we're looking at here, there's a monster who he's swinging around his dick and
with an eyeball
and at the end of his dick is a big eyeball, and he throws it around like a chain.
Well, that was a German suplex for sure.
German suplex by the comb over white robot.
Yeah, I just want to watch this now.
Yeah, I know, man. It looks pretty good.
Gardner Theater, here we come.
So Charlie, what do you think?
I want to believe. I don't know. I just I'm gonna say yes.
Going with it.
That's it. Real deal.
So, I just think the Nephilim in the Bible are much cooler than what they're making them up to be in this. But anyway.
Yeah. Old as time itself.
Do we go to Mandela effect now?
All right. Okay. So, yeah.
So once again, Charlie's in the good universe.
That's right.
He's in the shitiverse.
The current one.
Yeah. So that's your 2 for 2, man. Once again, I think last season
back.
you were usually in the other universe last time.
See, I couldn't be in any universe because I believe I'm too young to have made the decision on that one.
Okay, and MK-Ultra, are they like they admitted it, but
Definitely happened.
There's a lot of things
what
in
facet of it?
Are they an extension of concentration camp research? Are they involved in satellite technology? Is social media an extension of MK-Ultra? There's a lot there.
I could buy it all.
I don't know. I believe it.
There's a lot of things.
I'm not condoning it, but
well, there's that anatomy textbook. I don't know what it's called, but it's a lot of doctors won't use it because it was created with victims of concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were like ripped open and drawn, and diagrams are made from their bodies, and they're like, I can't use this textbook, even though like the detail is amazing. And there's information in there, but like it was made.
Some of the weird
unethically.
experiments that he did as well, like on twins, like he would do, like hurt one twin to see if the other one felt it,
Sure.
or like put them together to see if they would live or whatever. So I think like him doing that kind of opened up the world of MK-Ultra to
Give one
kind
of
of
them
just
a hand job to see if the other one fell asleep.
exactly.
Yeah.
It could have happened. Who knows? It's not something we should laugh at. Jesus. But yeah, it'll just open up the world for anybody who wants to do fucked up experiments like that.
Yep.
You know,
Like
doing surgery without anesthesia, shit like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, so good times. Dark territory.
And on a dark note.
You can listen to all of our episodes on it'saconspiracypodcast.com, and you can find links to our email, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook merchandise, including Charlie's own
Oldmandesign.com for all your graphic design or t-shirt needs. Come on down. We'll get you sorted.
Ooh.
We will be back with episode 4 in middle of October, and then at the end of the month we've got a special board game special, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of good times. Hopefully you're not bored.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah.
Okay, so already then.
Roll doubles, go again.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for listening, and take care.
Bye.
See you.
when we do this segment, can you add a lot of the